You sit close to the fire inside the great hearth of this house. You're doing your best to keep warm during this very, very intense snowstorm. It's no wonder that the lord of this manor has left during this season. It's much, much too cold to enjoy the countryside. So, you've been tasked to take care of things in the Lord's manor while he's away, and you sit in front of the great fireplace, warming yourself in one of the comfortable, ornate chairs that you would normally not be allowed to sit on. But it's been a long, long day of keeping this great house clean and tidy for when the lord of this manor returns. You gaze dreamily at the dancing flames inside the fireplace, listening to the soothing sounds of the crackling logs, just breathing in and out, slowly and deeply. It's been a long, long day. And you could almost just fall asleep right here in front of the fireplace. You feel too lazy and lethargic to even muster up the energy to retire to your chambers and sleep on your bed. Anyways, the servants' quarters aren't really that comfortable. You're in no rush to get there. Instead, you could just sit and stare at the dancing flames inside this fireplace, letting your body be perfectly supported by this fine, ornate chair as you breathe in and out, slowly and deeply. It can be a little lonely and isolating watching over this house all on your own. It is nice, though, being able to set your own schedule, not having any of those stuffy aristocrats to boss you around. It's just that it gets lonely at night, and you could really use some company. So as you stare blankly into the flames, you suddenly hear a knock at the door of this manor. Who could that be? There's a fierce snowstorm going on out there. It's much too cold for anybody to be walking around. Anybody with any sense, that is, anyways. And it's too early for the lord of this manor to have returned from his trip, unless there's some sort of emergency. But he probably would have sent somebody ahead of him. And they probably would have come during the day, when traveling is much, much easier. So cautiously, you approach the door of the manor. You have to walk down the long entryway, hearing your footsteps echoing off the marble-clad floor and walls of this entryway until you reach the door. You normally don't like opening this door. It's very heavy. You have to strain and struggle to open it. You'd much rather use one of the smaller side doors to this house. But obviously, whoever is trying to get your attention by knocking at this door doesn't know this manor very well. This door is usually kept shut. So, you decide to peer through the peephole to see who is interrupting your otherwise boring and mundane night. It's hard to see through the peephole. It's covered a bit and obscured by some snow, and the visibility is already very low in the dark. But ahead of you, right outside this door, you see a cloaked figure. They're slumped over, as if they need help, and very, very faintly, you can hear them say, "Please, can you invite me in? It's very, very cold out here." You look around as much as you can through the peephole, wary that this could be some sort of trick. This could be some ne'er-do-well with some friends just outside of view. But, on the other hand, this is a rather risky night to be traveling at all. Even thieves and bandits would be afraid of freezing to death out in this weather if they weren't allowed to get inside this manor. I guess this person really does need help. So, you steady your nerves and open the heavy, heavy door. Your face is blasted with an icy barrage of sleet and snow. The wind howls fiercely, and you can barely keep the door from swinging back and forth in this fierce, fierce wind. "Come on!" you yell. "Get inside!" But the stranger remains still. Through the wind, you can hear them say to you, "Am I invited in?" You're shocked for a moment. What else would you be doing? But you blurt out, without thinking, "Yes, get in here. You're going to freeze out there." And once you say those words, the stranger seems to move with an unnatural amount of grace into the manor. Politely they turn and help you close the door and latch it shut. You breathe a sigh of relief, so happy and glad to be out of the cold. You're already feeling frozen to the bone. This stranger must be even colder than that, and you're not surprised when they collapse at your side. You reach out and grab their hand to help them up, and it feels icy cold, cold to the bone. And you start shuffling down the entryway towards the fireplace. You shuffle past the mirrors on either side of you as you go down the entryway. The stranger looks so frail underneath their robe, as if there's just the robe and nothing else as they're hunched over, like you can't even see their reflection at all. But you don't really focus on that, because it's important to get them warm, to make them feel safe, to help this stranger in need. And you're glad now that you've opened this door to help them, because underneath all that caked on snow, you can tell that this cloak is very expensive. It's made out of fine material, and when more of the snow falls off it, you can see that it's finely embroidered with golden threads. This person must be somebody with money, some noble or something, or perhaps a rich merchant. Maybe there was a carriage accident and they had to drag themselves all the way here. Well, it doesn't matter. You need to get them warmed up first before you could even focus on interrogating them. So, you bring them before the fireplace and sit them down. You then go to fetch a piece of bread and a kettle for some warm tea that will hopefully make them feel better. You hand them the bread and they stare at it blankly as you set up the kettle for tea. The stranger does not take a single bite, though perhaps they're too weary and overwhelmed from their ordeal to even have much appetite. The warmth of the fire will do them good. After setting up the kettle for tea, you sit in another chair across from them and examine them. The stranger is tall, mysterious. Their skin is very pale. Their hair a bit on the long and wild side, though probably just disheveled from the snowstorm they've walked through. And their eyes are dark, 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 like pools of water in the depths of a cave, reflecting back the dancing flames of the fireplace. Suddenly, a shiver runs down your spine, and you're not quite sure what caused it. Something isn't quite right. You move to get up, but your body now feels heavy, much heavier than before, as you stare into the dancing flames reflected in the stranger's eyes. They stare back at you, silently. You can hear the kettle start to boil. You should get up. You should attend to it. But somehow, you can't. Instead, all you can do is sit and stare, as the stranger instead gets up, stands up, and walks to the kettle. They don't take their eyes off you for a single second. You sit there, transfixed, as they move the kettle away from the flames. The stranger then speaks. Thank you so much for inviting me in to this home. I do appreciate being out from the cold, and I appreciate your offer of food. The only thing is, I find that I don't quite get hungry until after I've had a nice long nap. A nap so long sometimes it goes all the way throughout the day and into the evening when the sun goes down. And when I awaken, I find that my appetite can be quite intense. That I would do almost anything to satiate it. So now doesn't quite feel like the right time to eat. Instead, it feels like it's time to sleep and let that appetite of mine build up more and more. The stranger smiles at you, a toothy smile, their teeth sharp, more like fangs. And normally, you would be trying to run, but your legs won't move. They just keep on getting closer and closer, but all you can do is stare deeper and deeper and deeper into their eyes. This stranger no longer seems frail and pathetic. They seem strong, predatory. They seem so dangerous and powerful, and you feel so weak and frail before them as they lean in and gently reach out with their hand, tipping your chin upwards so that all you can do is look deep, deep into their eyes, deep into the reflected, dancing flames. feeling as if your mind is sinking into the icy blackness that is their eyes, sinking deep, deep down deep. Your mind freezes. You know there's no point in trying to run or fight. All you can do is hope for mercy. You are before something beyond your comprehension, beyond what you can deal with. You understand that, so your mind just shuts down and sleeps deeply. Come with me, little one. I need to find a place to retire until next evening. A place to sleep throughout the day. You'll guide me there. I require a room with the curtains tightly drawn, thick velvet curtains that keep the sun at bay. I require a room with a large canopy bed, again with thick velvet curtains. Guide me to this room. Perhaps the bed of the lord of this manor will suffice. Yes, it will. So lead me there. That's it. One step, then another. Down this long hallway. There are many doors to either side. But you will guide me where I need to go. That's it. Take me to this comfortable, safe bed. Ah, here's the door. Let's open it now, shall we? And step inside. That's it. Oh my, yes. This will do nicely. The curtains are already drawn shut. All we need to do is get into that comfortable bed together. You'll keep me warm, and perhaps be that tasty little morsel I'll get when the evening rolls around. Sleep with me, drift with me. That's it, little one. Moving towards the bed like a sleepwalker and getting into it as I draw the curtains shut, pulling you close, feeling my embrace, engulfing your mind in darkness and spiraling down into it. The darkness of my eyes enveloping you and pulling you down into sleep, knowing that you must sleep. You feel drugged. It doesn't matter if every part of your mind is screaming at you to stay awake, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake. It doesn't matter, because it's going to be time to sleep deeply. just my little bed warmer, and perhaps breakfast when I wake, because I have been walking all night. I could use some sleep. Sleep with me. Drift. No way to resist it. Just sleep. Only sleep. Deep, mindless sleep. Your mind mesmerized, those eyelids fluttering shut, that body of yours feeling heavy and immobile as if it's made out of lead. Just sleep. Only sleep. Deep, mindless sleep. Sleep. Sinking into the inky darkness and sleep. 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 Deep, mindless sleep. 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 My little snack. Sleep. 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 Sleep.